Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's evening's going good. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on this build. How's everybody's night going so far? Hulk PR, thanks for the like from earlier. I'm fried playing this. Let's go! So this build is actually for a friend of Hulk PR, Rich the Barber. If I said that right. Rich the Barber. What's good, bro? What's up? Just getting ready to build the beast. Let's go. Alright, so we're just going to kind of run through the parts list here. Is my mic too loud? Is it crackling on your end? Because I see it's hitting the high on the red. Is my voice too loud? Is the music good? Just want to make sure I'm not saturating and blowing your speakers out. Thanks for the follow. I'm fried playing this. I appreciate that. Sounds good? Okay, sweet. Alright, so we're going to walk through the build list here. Today we're going to be building with the 12th generation i7. This is the i7 12700K. I believe we went with KF. We went with KF. We didn't need the discrete graphics because we are building with a graphics card already here. So there's really no reason to have onboard graphics. I'm here watching. Thanks for the shout out. Hey, no problem, man. Dion? I believe Dion is Rich the Barber. So he is watching over on YouTube right now. Sounding straight. Yep. So the Core i7, 12th generation processor is going to be plugged into an ROG Strix Z690A. This is a board that we went with specifically because it is matching the white theme that we're going for. And also, Asus has a really good board for the 12th generation processors. This is a DDR4 board, so we are not building with DDR5 tonight because DDR5 is just outrageously expensive still. I don't see the value, especially with the limitations where you can only use 2 sticks on a single board, even though you have 4 slots. There's still issues with DDR5 using more than just the 2 sticks. So we're going with DDR4 in this build, which is the Strix Z690A Gaming Wi-Fi D4. The D4 stands for DDR4, if you're ever wondering, or if you're shopping around for a motherboard and trying to decide between the motherboards for the 12th gen Intel, look for the D4, or just make sure that the specifications support DDR4 over DDR5 if you're trying to build with DDR4. Sorry about the growling if you hear him in the background. That's my puppy. He's trying to play with me right now. He brought his toys over to my feet. So outside of the CPU, the motherboard, the RAM that we're building with tonight is our world famous Trident Z by G-Skill. This is a Trident Z Royal. This set of RAM is uniquely special because of the RGB on it and also the shiny royal look they have, as well as the timing on these sticks. But we're doing 32 gigabytes at 4,000 megahertz. So there's 2 sticks of 16 gigabytes in this set at 4,000 megahertz is what we're going to aim for on the XMP profile on this motherboard. Our SSD is a 2 terabyte M.2. This is NVMe Gen 4. This is the SN850 Western Digital Black. And there's 2 terabytes, and it gives us up to 7,000 megabits a second of our read speed, which is very quick. So it's a very good speed for Gen 4. Then we are, I'll move the graphics card over. We are cooling the processor with this beast of a cooler. We went with the with this 360 millimeter cooler by Asus, specifically because it is unique and it has a screen built into it. And we wanted to, for this high level build, we wanted to keep it high level. so we went with this cooler. But we're not going to use the Noctua fans that come with this set. We're actually going to be using the FC120s by Deepcool. These are addressable RGB. They're white because this cooler only comes in black. If it does come in white, I haven't ever been able to find it. But to solve that, we are going to be using the FC120 whites, which are addressable RGB, PWM, and I believe up to like 2000 RPM on the fans. And we're also going to put them in a sandwich. There's going to be a push-pull configuration on the radiator mounted to the top of the case. So there's plenty of airflow through this radiator to make up for removing the Noctua fans from the kit. We're also using a cable mod AIO sleeving kit, which is white sleeving. So we're going to just sleeve the AIO tubes so that they're white, matching the white theme build that we're working with. And I'll explain the case here in just a minute. So to power this rig, actually let's touch on the graphics card. So the graphics card, we're going with the Asus RTX 3080 Ti, and this is the ROG Strix version. I was looking for a white version of this card, and they're just really hard to get. So we are going with, unfortunately, the ROG Strix standard, which has a little bit of silver and gray into it, and there's not much I can really do about that unless we waited on the build for a while, and I didn't want to wait too long for this build for him. So we're just, it is what it is. To power this build, we are going to be using an EVGA 1000 watt Supernova 80 plus gold fully modular power supply, and then we do have some extension cables by Asian Horse. These are extension cables, are white, which we will be using for keeping that white build theme. Building a monster. Yes sir, this is going to be a very nice solid build. Dev, Mr. Duck, I'm trying to get the white one. Oh, awesome. Yeah, just you're trying to get this white card right now. I've been hunting for them because I do a lot of white builds. It's been a common request, actually. So, and I do like the ROG Strix series boards for the 12th generation CPUs, and they're just really hard to find. Yeah, these in white are really hard to find. I'm doing a white build. Nice. Yeah, I mean, the only other option I had was a Gigabyte Vision 3080 Ti, but I really didn't want to put Gigabyte in an Asus themed build. It just didn't seem right, so I stuck with this, the ROG Strix, which is fine. I mean, it's going to have RGB on it. It's going to look cool regardless. And if we really wanted to, we can probably get a back plate, and I could even take this off, the fan shroud off, and then we could even paint that if we needed to, which doesn't take much to do. But we could paint that, and then we could even paint the back plate, although I would prefer just to get a back plate by V1 Tech and put that on there. So that way we're not... because this is going to be... The shroud's going to be facing down. So I think all I would do there is probably just get the back plate from V1 Tech, so we're not customizing too much on the card, so the resale value holds. But anyway, the case we're going to be building in, it's the Leon Lee 011 Dynamic Evo, and it is the white snow, so it's just pure white. It is a beautiful case, especially if you're trying to do a white build and you try to do a big white build. I really highly recommend that. If you're trying to do like an open loop water cooling case, I would recommend going with maybe the 011 Dynamic XL, which gives you a little bit more room on the bottom of the case and the top of the case. Gives you a little bit more room there. Kind of gives you the same experience as the Evo, just has more room to work with on the bottom and the top for radiators, mounting radiators. So overall, this is going to be a really big build, and I'm super excited to get it started here. So I'm going to clear some of this out of our way, and we can go ahead and get started on the motherboard, CPU, the SSD, and the RAM. That is the build out for tonight. It should take about, I'd say about 2.5 hours for this build, if we don't have any major hiccups. We are doing push-pull though, so it might add an extra 10 or 15 minutes there with the fans, the extra fans. But I'd say anywhere about 2.5, 2 hours 45 minutes ish. So we're going to start with getting the ROG Strix motherboard out of its box and get this thing unpackaged so we can start slapping the CPU and everything else on there. So yeah, this board is just absolutely gorgeous if you're trying to do a white theme, especially if you have a little bit of black mixed in to the build, like the graphics card or anything else that might be black. It just has a really nice white accent to it for the build, and a little bit of silver mixed in there as well. But for the cost, you really can't beat this board going for that white theme for the 690, in my opinion anyway. There might be like a couple other options, like Asus or ASRock might have a pretty cool option, but like their Steel Legend series is pretty cool as well. So this is our 12700KF that we're building with tonight. Hey Thomas, how's it going, man? How are you doing? Thanks for stopping in, by the way. Trying to make sure it's a different socket than the sorry if my head's in the way, than the 1700, and I'd say this one is a little bit more difficult to get this mounted than say the 1200. 1700 is a little bit more difficult because you really can't, and they got their pins in a weird place for putting it in. That's all. It's just weird. Different. After so many years of building the same thing over and over again, and now there's something new. Just weird. I'm going to pull up this passive cooling heatsink that goes over the SSD, and we can get the solid state drive installed here. The cool thing about this board as well, if you didn't just catch that, and I know maybe the light's reflective there, but there is a thermal pad on the bottom of the SSD now. So you could put the SSD on there, so make sure you peel that and then put the SSD down into the M.2 slot. And it is a toolless clip here, or switch, whatever you want to call it, which is kind of cool. So there's no more M.2 screw for this board, or at least for this slot. Pretty good. Loving the PC. Yeah, man. Hey, Paulo. How's it going? Yo, what's up? Thomas, I'm glad you're loving that PC. Let me know if you have any questions on it too. Always feel free to hit me up. Let me know if you ever have any questions. So we're just going to put this M.2 into the slot here. Easy. And then this flip, like I mentioned, just spins around and it holds it in place. You really don't need a lot of strain on it to hold it in place or anything like that, or pressure or anything. It's just enough to hold it in there, which is all you need. The only concern I would have is with shipping and maybe it getting bounced around a little bit, but I have not experienced that yet. And then we're gonna peel the thermal pad cover off the other side of this heatsink, and then we're just gonna mount this heatsink right back on top of the SSD here with 2 screws. And there we have it. We have our CPU and our SSD installed. SSD being under the heatsink right there. And before I forget, we should probably take care of these peels. I like to forget about those. Then halfway through a build, have to take it halfway apart, get to some of them. I think that's all of them. Oh, there's one more. When you start getting old, your eyes start to deteriorate and you miss little detail things like that. But I like to get them because after a year or so of being in the system, they just look like crap. Another cool feature about this board I wanted to mention, since we're still kind of talking about the board, is, you know how if you have a graphics card installed in your PCIe slot here, and you got to reach down and try to push down on this PCIe clip? Well, they have a button here, which is probably the best engineering design I've ever seen on a motherboard. But you push this button, and it pushes the PCIe clip down. So no more sitting there with like a Phillips or a flathead trying to push that down and then slipping and then jabbing your motherboard or whatever it might, whatever may happen. Dangerous things. No more of that. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get the 2 sticks of Trident Z Royal installed. We're building with royalty. So if you haven't seen the packaging for this stuff, it's like you're opening something from royalty. Literally. You got a nice polishing path. If you haven't built with G-Skill Trident Z Royal before, you'll know that once you touch it with your bare fingers, you're going to leave a finger mark that's nearly impossible to get rid of. So if you're ever building with Trident Z Royal and you really want it to keep it clean, wear gloves. Doesn't matter how well you've washed your hands, the oil from your skin gets imprinted on these things very, very easily. So I would highly recommend, anytime you're building, build with gloves so you don't have fingerprints and grease or anything all over your components, because it'll keep them nice. But I mean, that's super shiny, super nice. Keep them nice. There we go. And there's our 2 16GB sticks. This is DDR4, 4000 megahertz. CL, I think 18 is what we ended up with. And then we are at 32 gigs total. Trident Z by G-Skill. Trident Z Royal. Alright, so I'm going to set the motherboard aside and take a look at the cooler to see what kind of mounting we have to deal with here, because I don't remember. And we have a plate, and I want to kind of get that on there. I just don't remember if we can screw that on now or if we should do that later. We'll find out here. but I want to try to do as much as I can inside the on the motherboard before putting it in the case, because it's just so much easier. Even though that case is actually really easy to work in, I just want to get as much done as I can before we put it in the case, the motherboard. This is what I needed. Very cool packaging though, for this AIO. I always enjoy taking it apart. A lot of engineering behind just this packaging. Proves that it's a quality product, I think. And you got all these awesome stickers and the manuals that come with it. And this is what we needed. Another thing, some of the coolers, if you're shopping around buying a Z690 with a socket 1700, just be mindful when you're buying coolers to make sure that it supports LGA 1700. If it's an older cooler that's been sitting in inventory for a while, it may not even have the mounting brackets for 1700 in there. So don't just assume that. Always take a look at that, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're building and then all of a sudden you get to your cooler and you're like, oh no, it doesn't have the right mounting brackets for this. A lot of companies, you can even tell they did this for this kit. They'll make a 1700 mounting kit for their kits, and then they'll throw them in the box. So you can tell that everything else is in this one, including AMD and Intel, some of the older sockets, and then here's your 1700 kit, because they added this later. So just keep that in mind when you are building with a socket LGA 1700 board. And also in mind when AMD releases AM5. So it's going to be a different socket as well. Same difference. Just some friendly advice. There we go. It's just a plate that goes on the back of the board here with a couple of studs sticking out, and I believe there's screws that I can screw into the board on this side that'll hold it in place while we mount it to the case. There's this little bag of screws here. That's what we're going to use to mount this bracket and hold it there. And then this piece will tie onto the actual pump or block, CPU block, and then it'll go there. And then there's probably a couple of nuts in here that screw onto these power screws or posts, so to speak. It is a little bit tight for your fingers in here, so sorry if I'm leaning away. What's everybody's plans for the long weekend? Anybody got any exciting plans or things they're looking forward to this weekend? Holiday weekend? Hopefully you have a long holiday weekend planned. Are you escaping somewhere? I plan to just shut my phone off. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm very sarcastic about stuff. That's why I wear a shirt that says, "No, I will not fix your computer." Though I fix computers for a living. Just a reminder as well, we are streaming to Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time right now. I try to have the chat, I'll try to read everybody's chat in the multi-stream chat here, as well as I have it posting on the stream. So if you're on a big enough screen to actually see that, read it, awesome. If not, I'll try to read all of them, you know, keep everybody in the loop. Rich DeBarber, I'm going to be playing that PC. Yeah, I kind of expected that from you. Yes, sir, I hope you will. Alright, so I'm going to set the motherboard aside here, as well as the rest of these parts for the AIO. We're going to get the case out. And I'll set this down right here. So one of the cool things about the Leon Lee OLED Dynamic Evo, which I think I've explained several times in many different streams, and I should probably just start doing video reviews and reference things like that. But anyway, I'm going to be playing that PC. Yes, I read that. Just chilling, bro. Playing the game and relaxing. Awesome. That's from I'm Fried playing this. Rich better drop 20 kills with his rig. Yeah, no more excuses, Rich. No more excuses. Sorry, bro. We're taking the lag away from you, the lag excuse, or response time. Need a cameraman? I mean, I've actually got a pretty good opportunity with BitPhoenix, where we're going to be reviewing quite a few of their products. BitPhoenix, if you don't know who they are, they're a company that manufactures PC gaming cases, fans, cables, and power supplies. And they're actually pretty big in the industry, just not very well known. They've been around for a long time. So they reached out and they actually asked me to do some product reviews for them as a system builder. So looking forward to that. They actually sent me their fans and cables. Take a look at. Whoop, they're right here. Sent over these. So we're going to be doing a video on these probably in the next week or so. Talk about the quality and give them some feedback on their products. So anyway, back to the Evo case. Let me get this thing out and I'll keep talking about this thing. One of my favorite cases, by the way, is the 011 Dynamic Evo, whether it's black or white. This is the White Snow Edition again, which is pretty much 100% white, minus some gray mixed in there, but beautiful case. Gonna peel this plastic away here. Well, I thought Hulk Pierre quit playing. You playing again? And here's the what's the company? Oh, no excuses. You heard him. Hulk PR, what is the company name? I'm Fried. He's a great player. BitPhoenix, Hulk PR. BitPhoenix is the company name that we're working with. We also might have an opportunity to be listed on their website as one of their system integrators. So if anybody wants a custom build through BitPhoenix, they can come to Empower Gaming Computers and have us build their BitPhoenix build, which is cool. So just another funnel for more builds, which would be cool. And we would also be doing product reviews for their cases, their fans, their power supply cables, etc. So it's really good, really cool opportunity. Hulk, I saw you online the other night. Yep. Super 19, good day. Nice. Looking forward to the videos. Yeah, I'm gonna start working on that project next week, because we are going in a little bit of a slow period of builds here lately, but gives me opportunity to work on those videos, which I need to. So I'm gonna flip this over or stand this case up so I could start pulling it apart. We can get in there. So I know you're local, Rich, but if you ever have to get in this case, the top panel just has 2 screws in the back, which I can show you when you come pick up as well. But if you ever want to look at the video again here, you can always look it up on YouTube and see it. Then you got 2 screws for the glass panels, one here at the top and this one here. These 2 screws will release the glass panels. A little bit different than the 011 Dynamic, which you just take the top panel off and then you can lift the glass off. But this way, the glass panels are more secure, so when you take that panel off, the glass doesn't just fall, which I like better, honestly. I remember the first time I went through this case, a while back, I struggled with figuring out how to get in it. So, just a little quick note. We're just gonna take all the glass off, because we won't need it while we're building in it, and it makes it easier to access everything. And then we also have a back panel, which is vented. So our fans are going to pull air in here, and then our power supply is going to draw air from there. And really it's just, I think this one is the one that's just in there. Yeah. There's no screw holding this back panel on. And there we have the back. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, so there we are. Our 011 Dynamic Evo. White Snow. I'm fried playing this. Oh, wait. We gotta back up on the comments here. Nice, looking forward to the videos. Thanks. Yep, I'm looking forward to making those videos because I promised them to Bit Phoenix a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago now, and we got those parts in about a week ago, so need to start making progress on it. Do you have any other cases with you? Actually, I just submitted an order, which is another reason why I'm kind of delayed on the videos, because I would like to have a couple more of their cases, and they didn't have any that they were willing to ship to me for free for review, because they're expensive to ship, which I can understand. So I just ordered 4 different versions of them today, actually, so they should be here, and that's gonna kind of allow me to review both their micro ATX and their most popular ATX mid tower, both white and black versions of each. So I will have some of their cases, yes, in the next week or so. I'm fried playing this. I'm gonna have to hit up in power. I need an upgrade bad, still on a 1660. Well, the 1660 is not that bad, actually. It's a pretty good card for just your everyday gamer. If you're trying to stream, I would definitely consider or recommend an upgrade. But for straight up gaming, the 1660 can hold its own in 1080p. Rich to Barber, okay? But yeah, feel free to hit us up, man. We can get you upgraded. If you have a 1660 and if it was a pre-build, you probably have a weaker power supply, so we'd probably have to upgrade the power supply as well as the graphics card to make it work with your system, which is not that bad. Power supplies are pretty inexpensive right now. Hulk PR, Ben, if you ever need a haircut, Rich is your guy. Are you saying that I need a haircut or something? Because I do. I don't know. I've never met a barber that actually enjoyed cutting my hair, because it is a very thick, colicky Italian head. I'm sorry. I don't know if Rich wants to deal with that. He'd probably get frustrated with it after 5 minutes and just shave it all off and call it a day. Which I wouldn't be opposed to it. Best barber in Michigan for sure. Nice. I'm interested to see what the cases look like. Yeah, I'll definitely go through them on the videos in detail too. So what I plan on doing with those BitPhoenix cases is just building with them. So I have the DIY full build experience with them, and then I could point out, things that they could change to make either building with them easier or get better performance out of them. But you kind of do, to be honest. Yeah, I know I do. I was due like 2 weeks ago. It's been literally on my list of things to go do every Saturday and every Sunday for like the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I haven't had a chance to go do it. I cut every texture. Okay. I know. I'm sure you can handle this. It's just like, I don't know. My head, I always think of it as like the Wild West. Nobody ever wants to deal with it. You cut also Puerto Rican, you'll be fine. Okay. Hey man, you don't want to mess this head up, alright? You mess the head up, you're gonna have to deal with the boys, alright? Not my wife. You don't want to deal with my wife. Yeah, I stream and work on it. That thing has been going through it. Yeah. If you're streaming on it, that's where you're going to see a huge performance dip. If you're streaming and gaming on it at the same time. That 1660 is probably struggling with the NVEC decoding, and you're probably forced to stream right now at 720p if I'm correct. You probably can't even stream at 1080p. You're probably playing at 1080p, but your stream is probably streaming at 720. How much space does it hold? This thing? Apollo? This thing has a 2 terabyte NVMe PCIe Gen 4, which is the Western Digital Black SN850. Let me see if still have the box. I already put it in the motherboard. But it is this bad boy. So there's 2 terabytes. Well, Rich, you're not allowed to take your PC home till you cut Ben's hair. No, that's not a requirement, Rich. That is not a requirement. I think that's just Hulk PR's requirement. I'll be fine. I'll get a haircut. No, I've got a barber shop that I've been going to for a while now. So, it's actually a lady that does my hair. She has kids and she appreciates the support. So, keep doing that for now. If I do make any change, Rich, I actually have another barber that I built for not too long ago. Now I have multiple barbers that really want to cut my hair all of a sudden. And it's like barbers are fighting to cut my hair now. You're not the first I built for. I need a box of screws. Box of screws. I saw a bunch of people come in and leave, and then they're probably looking at it. Wow, 45 minutes in, and he only has the motherboard just now in the just now in the case. You're chatting too much. So with the white build, Leon Lee sends you all the silver screws. Just an FYI for anybody that is wondering if they're black screws or white screws or they're silver. Cool, because it matches the theme. We'll get this motherboard installed, and then we'll start working on the fans and the AIO. We'll probably just tackle the AIO, get that done and over with, and then get all the cables plugged in, and then get the fans installed. And that's like all the heavy lifting work that needs to be done outside of getting the rest of it plugged in. Not too bad. Not too shabby. So this will go pretty quick. As long as I don't chit chat too much. I don't want Rich to like fall asleep while he's watching his build get built. That'd be like me falling asleep while he's cutting my hair. We just have 9 screws that hold this motherboard in. Gorgeous ROG Strix Z690. Okay. There's that. So let's get the AIO out. So we're going to be mounting that here at the top. And I need to get some fans going on that. That's this bad boy on the side here. And then we have some more room to work with this. So we're going to have this so that the tubes are facing the front. So we want all of our cables on the right hand side here. We're doing a total of 6 fans on the AIO. 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. And we call that a push-pull configuration, because it's pushing the air through the radiator and then pulling it back through on the other side. What that does is it allows the fans to work not as hard, to push the same amount of volume that only 3 fans would be doing at double the work. So technically it's quieter even though there's more fans, so to speak. Right? Hey Hulk, when are you going to start streaming again? How's that room coming along? You got any progress on your stuff at home? The key here is to have all the cables on the right hand side. We also want the fans to blow the air through it. These are daisy chain, which is another one of my key things that I love about these fans, is they're daisy chains. It means you don't have cables coming off of each of the fans going to the back of the case to be plugged into a hub, etc. Really saves and reduces the amount of cables you're dealing with. By daisy chaining, you only have 1 cable coming off the set of fans rather than would be 6. It makes it so much easier. Okay, I need, what do I need? Set those over there. Then I need this big bag of screws, because it probably has our radiator screws hidden away in here. Here they are. Need that. So the next row of fans on the backside are going to be a little bit more tricky because we're going to be mounting these screws through the case as we're lining up the fans to the holes. So it is going to be a little tricky, but we'll get it. Not my first rodeo. That is just weird how it, there we go. Let's see. It's screwing in, but it's not screwing in. Okay. Now we're going to flip this bad boy over and kind of get these fans ready to go. Normally, I wouldn't do what I'm doing right now, but it'll be okay. What I mean by that is I would have flipped the fans on the bottom around, gone a different direction of getting these cables plugged in. That's all. There we go. Now we just got to come up with 12 screws for these fans, which I do have here in a box somewhere. There we go. Here's a big box of fan screws. I need 4, 4, and 4. Because their set didn't come with enough screws. And while we're here, let's just get this cable plugged into this other cable to make it longer so that we can reach it when it gets mounted. Making some progress, boys. Making some progress. We're going to mount this bad boy. And we've got 2 more sets of fans after this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because it is closer to the camera, so it might be like right up in your face, and I'm sorry if that's the case. Well, this is the case. But I'll do my best to kind of walk you through what I'm doing. Right now I'm just sticking the cable, the one cable that goes back to the back of the case here, into the slot that I want it slotted into. And then we're going to try to line this bad boy up the best we can. Get a couple of screws started so it holds it in place. You want to get your fans in here. That they are... Oh, what am I doing? I forgot all about this. So this is the Evo. Duh. Wish one of you would have told me. Somebody that maybe knew this case. But it's got these two beautiful screws that come out. And what this does is it allows a tray to pop out, which makes life easier. And I'm an idiot. I forgot about it. This tray just kind of pops out. We're going to move this out of the way. Because now, we could just do it like a normal person. So we have this, and we have this tray. Look at that. Who would have thought? Why would Leon Lee make it that easy? It's almost too easy. Okay. So I'm just getting the screws started here, and then we'll be able to pound out the remaining 9 pretty quickly, maybe. I'm fighting with it. There we go. Fighting with the radiator. So, all there is to it. Okay. Okay, where were we? Right, mounting this radiator. Yeah, now we got the bracket installed, so it makes life a lot easier. If you're building with a dynamic Evo, make sure you use the radiator for the fan plates that come with it. Makes life a lot easier. Don't listen to what I'm saying. There we go. And the 2 screws. They vanished. Maybe. So the other parts have the same setup, but we're actually going to get this mounted to the CPU before we move on to that. If you haven't built with this cooler before, ignore my ripped glove. I'll get a new one here, just a minute. This does lift off, as an FYI. It makes it easier to get to everything, and in fact, I think it's a requirement to get to it. Also, we're going to wipe this thermal paste that came pre-applied. We're going to be using Thermal Grizzly, not whatever they sent us, which I don't even know what it is. Let me replace my gloves real quick and get something to wipe this off. The paste wasn't terrible, but definitely not what we want to use. We want something a little bit nicer. That's why we're going to use a Thermal Grizzly. Thermal Grizzly! Has anybody else used Thermal Grizzly before? What's their favorite paste? Arctic Silver, Horsehair, Thermal Grizzly, Cooler Master, I think, even has some. Everybody has them now. This is the part that we need on here. So this just twists off and lifts. That's your old LGA socket. We're going to put the new 1700 on there. And I believe the screen goes like this. So the pumps go down. Like that. Get our thermal paste. And screws. These nuts. What? That's our Thermal Grizzly thermal paste that we just applied. And Then we're going to mount this bad boy to these beautiful studs that we added earlier. Using these little thumb / Phillip screws or nuts to the screws, yeah. It is a little bit of a tight fit here. I'm gonna try to get it started with my fingers and then use my Phillips screwdriver to get it going. Actually, I might hold it and start it with the Phillips, because I don't want to drop it down there. It will be a pain to try to retrieve these things. They're heavy and probably difficult to retrieve. Struggling to get this last one mounted. Okay, now I'm getting frustrated. The only thing I can think of is that it's screwed in backwards on the stud is, which would suck. Maybe they're different threads. I don't think they are though. But it just does not want to thread in. At all. Ends. So, now we gotta deal with this for a second. Sorry. Of course, it was the last one. Let me just double check it. Same issue. Here it is. Oh my gosh. It's frustrating. What's going on with this last one? Okay. This is very interesting. I've not had this happen before. This is absolutely stupid. Might have a problem here with this bracket. Does not want to hold the stud correctly. Screw it in right, but it just spins on the other side, so whenever you put a nut on it, it spins freely. In my opinion, Asus, it's a very cheaply made bracket and is kind of pathetic. This sucks. Awkward. This one doing the same thing up here? Because we've got two. Let's take a look at that. I gotta pull this hard drive cage out, or I gotta pull the motherboard out. And I'd rather pull this cage out, take a look at this plate, or get a better look at it, then pull the entire motherboard back out. Normally we don't run into snags like these. In the last one I did not have this problem. So, all I can say is thanks, Asus. That cage. And then maybe I could get this flipped over and show you if I can ensure that that pump is not going to get thermal paste everywhere. Put a plastic thing on it. I'll show you what I'm dealing with. So these little guys right here are just spinning, spinning, spinning. And they should not be. They should be stopped so we can continue to screw those nuts on. So these studs should not be spinning anymore. They continue to. Now all of a sudden, one doesn't care. This is weird. Yeah, this one's still doing it. This one that's back here, can't see, is just spinning away. Not stuck in place. And I don't know how to fix that. Other than holding it with pliers while I'm installing it. But that kind of sucks. Pretty sure it's broke. I can't see. Alright. Well, this is a series of unfortunate, annoying issue unfolding here in front of me. So this back plate, I don't know, let me see if I can just pull this other one here. Pretty much the same exact design. The best way to explain it is this back plate goes through the motherboard with this little black peg. Then you have this stud that screws into this peg from the other side of the motherboard, like so. The problem is this mechanism right here, which allows you to slide it forward and backwards depending on the size of socket that you're installing in, is now popped out and is just spinning freely, which means anything you spin into this will just spin freely and you can't tighten it. And I don't know how to fix that. I'm gonna have to take this apart, pull it, take a closer look at it. Looks like I should be able to just pull it back into the... Let's try that. It's getting thermal paste on my hand. Sucks. I want to get it everywhere. Why wear the gloves? See if we could pop this back in. And it's also in the most annoying spot, the one that is most difficult to get to. Top everything off. Because it's behind the plate. Because the cases aren't accommodating to the 1700 socket. So I gotta take this apart to fix this. I'm either gonna be able to fix it, or I have to go get another back plate mount, which Micro Center has them, but they would be closed by the time I get there. They close at 9 in 9 minutes. It takes me about a half hour to get there. So I'm gonna have to actually stop the stream here tonight, and I may have to start it back up tomorrow. Either once I get this resolved, or I get a replacement. But unfortunately, we're kind of stuck. So without that, we can't properly mount this pump to the CPU, or the, if it's not the pump, it's the block. Either way, it has to be tight, and it has to hold the load, and I don't trust that. So I'd rather not build this with a part that may be faulty, and have it pop loose while you're gaming, and then have your CPU constantly overheat all of a sudden. I'd rather do it right. So this sucks, I'm sorry, but without that, it's not going to be evenly mounted to the CPU, and I can't guarantee its performance. Okay, I'm going to still get it to him this weekend. I'm going to shoot for Saturday still. It's just I might have to go to Micro Center to get a replacement mount. Thankfully, they're not too far. That's where we are, boys. We are screwed by ASUS's flawed design on their mount. I say it's flawed because that shouldn't happen. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Alright, man. Yeah, no, I'll get it sorted out. I just got to take this apart. Rather than you guys sitting here watch me fiddle with this thing for like the next hour and a half, who knows? I'd say let's start up the stream tomorrow once I get this straight, and I'll try to get it going in the morning. Do I offer phone troubleshooting? What type of, you mean like remote support? Yes, we offer remote support. If you have a PC that you need assistance with remotely, yes, we can offer remote phone support. PC won't start. Well, I'm getting off the stream right now. I can give you a call if you want to shoot me a message. Send me your phone number, or go on my website and go on our website, look up our phone number, and give me a call. My phone number's on our website. It's the 248-617-1050 phone number. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're kind of stuck on this build right now. I got to take this back apart because this mount is kind of stuck. So I can't actually finish mounting this block. So I got to figure this out, and then we'll probably restart this stream. Well, not restart it, but continue where we left off tomorrow morning on this build. So we're just extending the hype. That's all. We'll get it. We'll get it. I just don't. I've never seen that before. Where I've never ran into that before. So I'm just kind of baffled. So yeah, just give me a call on that number, and you guys have a good rest of your night. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, and we'll get this thing straight. and I will still see you tomorrow. I don't know if you're still on, Rich, but I'll still see you tomorrow. Don't worry about this. We'll get this straightened out in the morning, and then we'll have, it just might be more later afternoon, evening for pickup. That's all. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.